know it's been a minute since we've done the cross colors, but we're back at it. Today I got my man Herb Smith. House Herb representative. We're going live. So, got a big announcement for people that don't already know.
2020. House of Herbs, 444 South Lake Street. Can't wait to help bless your bellies.
House of Herbs. If you didn't hear it, House of Herbs, my man, has got the spot. 2020 House of Herbs. It's gonna be on Lake Street in the Miller section of Gary. Miller section of Gary. House of Herbs. My man Herb Smith. And that's what our conversation today was about. One of the conversations today, we were talking about the influence that we saw from like our parents, you know, and how actually passing on information that's beneficial, and not just by what you hear, but actually what you see. I know that was the case for myself with my father, you know, actually like having these conversations, and we started having more conversations as I got older. You know, I was actually able to understand a lot of what he said, but I still remember hearing, you know, these, you know, when he would drop a jewel, you know, and it's just like, all right, cool, yeah, because that makes a lot of sense, and now I'm able to understand it, but also seeing like through his actions, you know, and how it actually made a difference. And that's a big part of the reason why I think the way that I do now, yeah, and the way that I do business, you know, as far as being a reasonable person, doing my best to be reasonable and to be fair and accord people dignity. What are some of the things that you get growing up, you know, and having like that same example for yourself?
Relate to what you're saying.
And shout out to Herb Smith, Sr. One love.
Councilman at large, please retain my old man. I got to plug that out there. But yeah, growing up watching my dad run multiple successful businesses kind of taught me a lot. And like you said, a lot you kind of don't understand, and for the reasons of I'm not mature yet to understand. So as I've gotten older and kind of started to mature and get, you know, understand things, kind of it makes sense, you know, of why he did certain things and how he was doing and how he brought about doing it. And he laid that foundation for me. My first job was working for my dad. Fired me, hired me, fired me, hired me. But it taught me, you know, responsibility. You know, it taught me how to actually earn a dollar. So nothing was ever given to us growing up. So we worked for just about everything. But he dropped some mini jewels growing up down the line that I push out now, and I try to help my friends and everything. You know, me and you sitting and talking about it
for sure.
You know, it kind of helped myself growing up, but you got to be kind of open-minded to grow. You can't just be blocked, you know, just say, well, I know it, but in essence, you really don't, because it's your first time doing it, or you ain't been there. So my dad kind of seasoned, so we kind of bump heads sometimes and things, but it's kind of like, okay, you know what you're doing, you done did it, I'm going to listen to you, and I come back and say, you know what, Daddy, I was wrong. You know, it worked though.
Yeah. You know, and I think we talk often about like not spacing on teaching moments, right? Yeah. Like that's a big thing, especially now, because you and I were having a previous conversation how it really wasn't a push like when we were in high school or coming out of high school, like to own your own business. So like as you were saying earlier also in that conversation, how like your dad had your mom, you know, like in that support, and it like a time is different now where it's like we actually have our friends, right, that support each other. Like we've done events here, you know, and I mean, and you was my man, and it was just like, yo, we'll get in touch with our people, right, that do exactly that. Well, all right, cool, we want to have food here. Well, we have friends that have catering business that actually have restaurant, you know, that would actually do it, you know, and we would pay them for their service, not just thinking like, hey man, we're good, can you provide food for my event for free? That sounds crazy, you know, and because when people do things like that, it's like, it's almost to the point
what you want back in return.
Yeah, but still, you know, because that doesn't sound like something a friend would say to me.
But you know, I've been doing it every time you ask me. Every time y'all ask me, I'm gonna come through.
Which we appreciate, man. And I think it's just like, and that right there, that was the point that I was making. You know, it's like when you actually build this relationship with your friend, you do support them. You know, like when they do have an event, and you do show up, you know, and you do spend money with them, and you do share, you know, like their posts, you know, and you tell other people, hey man, you need to go here to farmers market on Sunday because they sold out the last few times that they were there, you know, and it's just like, and now that person gets this exposure that they might not have had before, but they got it because, one, because they were doing a quality job at whatever it is that they do, but also because their friends were supporting them. And it's like, yo, man, we grew up together. It seems like, yo, these should be the people I support, right?
You think?
Like the people that I came up with. It's like, hey man, like, yo, you've been to my house. You know, like, yo, you know my parents on a first name basis, but still call them Mr. or Mrs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because it's that level of respect. So it's just like, yo, all right, well, I see what you're doing. Yo, you know what? Let's do something together. And it's a mutually beneficial arrangement. All right, cool. We'll get exposure and get money together.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, to me, that I think that's one of the really big differences is that we actually have like a network of friends, like this generation, like our generation right now. Just like this network of friends, and especially within the city of Gary, you know, and even outside the city limits of Gary. Because I don't live in Gary right now, I live in Burns Harbor, but you know, it's just like, but there are people that live further away that still support just the same way because we are friends, you know, and they see that there's actual value in the city of Gary, you know.
Made me move back. I actually bought a house in the neighborhood I grew up in, so come back home, you know, everybody's running away. Why? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. But when you take a different look at Gary as a whole, man, it's a diamond in the rough, literally. There's people say there's no money here. No, the money is here. They just spend it in other communities. You just gotta find a way to get them to spend it back at home. You know what I mean? Everybody goes to Portage, Maryville, Valpo, whatever the case may be. So you can't say the money ain't here. The money is here. There's enough money for everybody. So when I tell people in general, you know, I do barbecue, I do this, don't compare me to the next. Don't side mark the next person. Help the next person.
Yeah, because honestly, it's like, yo, wouldn't it be great if we just supported black business? It's just like, hey man, look, even if you're doing what we're doing, like honestly, I would really love if somebody opened another art gallery just like this. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would be, because I mean,
yo, you heard me say that. I mean that in all sincerity. If somebody opens another gallery like this, yo, we'll fucking support it.
Yeah,
yo, there just needs to be more places where people can actually see, like, yo, people that look like me are celebrated.
Yeah.
People that look like me are appreciated. Like, people that look like me feel welcome when they walk in. Like I said, we were talking earlier. Dude, I walk up and hijack. I tell people, it's like, hey, I don't mean to hijack your conversation, but, and so and so, and then just go off into a whole nother conversation. I don't know too many places in the city of Gary where you can just do that.
I mean, we all here for the same reason. At some point on the level, we're here for a commonality. So it shouldn't be hard to walk up to a person and start a conversation with them, kind of figure out what's their background, what they're doing, you know, things they like. You might find a common piece and they might bring you together.
Well, and I said that it's easier to build off of what you have in common than what you don't, right? All right, cool. We're standing here looking, even if we don't agree on this piece, even if we don't agree, we're both looking at this piece in amazement.
Yeah.
Let's start there, all right? To me, that's simple. Everybody doesn't see it that way. That's cool. We're gonna try to help them appreciate it. It was like, it is really that simple, you know? And like that concept of helping friends, it is really that simple. Like, of supporting friends, it's really that simple. Yeah. Spending money in Gary, it's really that simple. For building businesses in Gary, it's really that simple, right?
It's not hard. You know, you just got number one is good customer service. You hear that all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, now. If you know me, you know me, you know my mouth is flipping. But being in this industry and what I'm doing has taught me to be more reserved and kind of get an understanding of where the other person's coming from, see what the problem is. You know, kind of listen to actually intensively listen and not to respond. You know, sometimes we get a problem doing that, but man, I love this G, man. It's home. You know?
Yeah, and that's right. When you say that, man, it feels good to do it at home because you're from here. And I know, just for us, I know there weren't too many people I will say that we're pushing, and maybe there were. Maybe I just wasn't privy to those conversations. But I know in my existence in this space and time, there's never been a push like it how it is right now as far as owning business in the city of Gary. What I will say, one of the things that I do miss, we were talking about like all like the fruit stands and the food stand, you know, like that would be like all around the city, you know. Yeah, you know, it's like, and to see like different one like the joint on 25th, you know, the other joint that used to be right there on Clay Street. Remember right there on the corner?
Yeah,
you know? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. So we had it before so we could have it again, right? So it's like there's, right now, and I know I'm not the only one that sees it, you know, it's like, it's actually a really big push, you know, like there's this, there's change, you know, like on the scene, you know, it's like, so there's change that's coming regardless, you know, but it's like, yo, you want it to be for the benefit of all parties involved, right? I was like, because you have like these, I guess like the two energies, if you will.
The one thing I want to put out there.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't just support me because I'm a black-owned business. Support me because I am a business, because you like the quality of the product that I'm putting out there. Because I don't like the stigma of keep hearing support black business, support black business. Yeah, I get that, but nothing is owed to me. No one owes me nothing.
Yep.
I have to be able to put out a product to you as a customer that you're gonna like to keep getting coming back. So, like I said, please support me as a business owner, not just because I'm black.
You know, and what's one of the real trips about that, man, it's just like, hey, regardless of what you look like in this country, all our money looks the same.
It's green and plastic.
You know,
I take both. I take them all. Apple Pay, Sq1, we take it.
You know, and I think that's a super cool approach, which a lot of people don't have. Like in that point about representation and it being important, right? But you also make it like inclusive, right? It's like, yeah, you know what? Support me because I'm a business, because like I'm a good fucking cook.
Yeah.
You know, not just because I'm a black cook. And if that's your reason for supporting me, hey man, cool. I take that. Yeah. You know, but like you said, that it's, hey, this is quality. This is quality, and that's the most important thing, right? Yeah. That you're getting a quality product, you're getting a quality service at a reasonable price.
Yep, and to piggyback on what we talked about earlier, that's one of those gems that my dad kind of taught me in business in general, because this is not the only business I own. I own two others. So you get one bite at the apple. And that's something that everybody needs to remember when you're putting things out, because you're either gonna land it or you're not gonna get it. You got to make sure that one shot at that apple is dead on money, and that has to be the same way every time. Consistency. And that's what's lacking around here, you know, in general. I mean, you start something and don't finish. And you know, I'm a product of that too. We're just talking about that. You know, what took me so long to push my dreams, it was me. You know, you talk about it, but you never really step out that comfort zone to really say, you know what, let me get my priorities straight. There's another gym. I should have listened to my dad before I went off to school, and I ain't ashamed to say it. You know, it took me a while to get to where I'm at, but he told me when I went off to school, all right, well, don't get no credit cards. My dumb self, 20 different credit cards, couldn't pay them back, trying to live off student loan money to pay them back. I'm not really thinking about credit. I'm just used to, you know, hey, Daddy, can he help me out? No, Daddy said, I'm not helping.
This is real conversation. I hope y'all are listening. This is real conversation. This is transparency at its finest.
I had to learn, had to straighten my credit up, you know, because I mean, you can't, I'm not gonna say you can't run a business on bad credit, but you ain't gonna get too far. You're gonna struggle. So some of these credit people that's out here is probably watching this, free plug, check them out, get your credit right, and also just not establishing your personal credit. You need to learn how to establish your business credit, because they're two separate lines. You need to split them. You really want to put everything in their business name and not put it in your own personal name, having to guarantee everything, because something happens, you losing everything. Something happens, you know, in their business line, you know, I'd rather go follow the business than my personal. I don't want nobody taking my house and cars and everything else. No, you know, just financials, getting them in order and lining them up. I mean, you got to. If not, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, you know, and it's like to a point about like making things easy, right? And seeing that, you know, maybe I should take a little bit more time. Christina Lee and I were having, Christina Love.
That's right.
We're having a conversation about that, and you know, it's just like when we actually get a chance to look at it, like for ourselves, it's like you can see how you'll make things really difficult by not paying attention to details, right? Those are the things that the attention to the details, you know, the stressing over the details that don't matter to anybody else. That's what makes the difference, and that's what sets certain businesses apart from others, right? Some businesses aren't concerned with their branding, or they're not concerned with their marketing. They're not concerned with their website. They're not concerned with like their social media presence.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you have to, because there are some businesses that do quite well off just word of mouth alone, right? You know, but but that doesn't mean like, yo, we can't look into that, you know, and actually make things. And like I said, just those conversations, you know, and even what you had said about, you know, like establishing 2 different lines, you know, I mean, that's just great for if anybody is listening and been paying attention. Like, that was a jewel right there. And some of these things we learn the hard way. You know, we actually have to be taught. And I say that lessons in life, we either learn or we're taught. And it's so much easier to learn these lessons.
See, the problem I see is a little bit is that a lot of people are taught that cash is king. Cash ain't king, credit is king. You can get a lot more with credit, with an 800 credit score with cash than you can with just cash. I don't care if you got $200,000 and trying to get some. Your credit ain't right, they ain't gonna give it to you. And if they do give it to you, you're gonna have that high interest rate. Who wants a 30% interest rate or 20% interest rate? It's like, want to buy a car? You like cars like me?
Yeah.
You know your credit good when you can go to the car lot, you ain't gotta give them nothing but your name, and you can walk out with the car. I'm quite sure you've done it.
Who, me? No, I ain't. No, man.
I mean,
nah, man.
I per se haven't seen. I've seen it done. I seen my old man do it, so it was kind of like.
I've seen it done, but I'm not that guy though.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
I mean, that's how you know your credit is really A1. They ain't really asking you for documentations and things of that sort because your credit there. I mean, they can look at your financial history and see. I ain't got no worries. I mean, and like somebody posted that does credit, you should really be more embarrassed applying for something, knowing good and well that you can't get it with bad credit than you should with something, you know, that should be embarrassing. But most folks aren't embarrassed by it, but they're embarrassed by asking for help. That's something that, you know, I was not afraid of. If I need help, I'll call you, I'll call Green, I'll call anybody I need to help me. That's part of the problem as well too. People not wanting to ask for help. They're so just, you know, stubborn. Don't want to ask for help when you really need the help. I mean, it's okay that you know what you're doing, but you still need some guidance.
Yeah, and you know, I also said like, this is just me. I don't know anybody that's on their Oprah shit because I don't know Oprah personally, you know. But I'm like, and I'm probably sure that even Oprah is working to make Oprah better, right? So no matter what it is that you're doing, you know, Beyonce, if you don't want to use Oprah as a reference, we'll use Beyonce, right? It's like, you know for a fact that she's working to make what it is that makes her Beyonce better every time, right? And so I think that that's something that, for me, if I'm just giving something, if I'm just throwing something out there, that like the quality, like that consistency, you know, that you put 100%, you know, whether it's 3 people in a room, it's 30 people in a room, it's 300,000 in a stadium, you know, like that same amount of energy, you know, should be present, you know, that same attention to details, it should still be present, you know. Go ahead.
I got a challenge for anybody that's out here listening, and my good friend Chef Jack London kind of put me on to this, is that what I've noticed.
What's up, Jack?
In the chef world, that I've been noticing is that we don't mind helping each other. So why is it that someone with the same ideal reaches out to you, you're so private? Because at the end of the day, nothing is really a secret. Why can't you help the next person? So my challenge is, if you're in a profession and you know somebody who might need your help, help them. What's stopping you from helping? What's stopping you from getting your blessings from helping somebody else? That's part of the problem, yo. You got a lot of people who have knowledge but don't want to help the next person because they scared they're gonna outdo them. Let them outshine. That's cool. But you know, you help somebody get to a different point in life.
Yeah, I speak about this that no good comes from keeping good to yourself. Right? I mean, that's how we ended up in this space, you know. Hey, Rebecca, Vibrations. You know, she had mentioned about the space, you know, and it was just like she had just moved into a brand new spot. So it's not like she was going to do anything with it. So she just, hey man, some information. It was just like, well, you know what? Hey, I'll keep my eyes out, you know, and it was like, hey, this place, and it, you know, and then things were able to take off, you know, like the way that they did, and it worked out really well, you know. For me, like to actually see that for myself, like how that happened, and you can see like how that business has continued to flourish, you know, from how it started to where it is right now. Like you can see it, you know, and it's like that's a direct result from, hey, you know what? Hey, I've got this information. I'm not going to do anything with it, but I'm also not going to sit on it and keep it to myself.
Right.
You know, and even if that person is doing the same thing that you're doing, if you actually believe that what you have is good and you're going to do a quality job, well, now you're just giving people options, and that's what consumers really do appreciate, right?
King, McDonald's.
I call it the Walgreens theory. I says, man, you see a CVS, you'll see a Walgreens, right? I was like, competition boosts an economy, actually. I says, but there are also people, consumers, they spend money for any number of reasons. Some are brand loyalists, right? Yeah. Some people pay for convenience. Some people, they pay for quality, right? But now, a mixture of all three. But honestly, if you don't really care, you know what? You're going to stop at the one that's on the side of the street that you're on. Yeah. You know? And it's just like, you know what? But that's up to the consumer. That's up to them. What you concern yourself with as a business is giving people a quality product, quality service at a reasonable price, and you let them make the choice.
Yep, consistency.
You know, and that really does make a difference. Yeah, that's what I know for myself. That's one of the things that I try to concern myself with, is that attention to detail that could set this apart as different. Excuse me, because I mean, we're not the only gallery here. No. And we're also not in competition with any other gallery here. And if another gallery, like I said, like I spoke to earlier, if another gallery was open here, we would support that, right? It's like, hey, we're doing our thing. Like when you create your own lane, you can drive at whatever speed you want to.
That way was different.
So it's just you. If you speed if you want to. Yeah. Hey, you could cruise if you want. It's just you in this lane. And honestly, hey, if somebody else gets in that lane, hey man, you know what? Here's what you should do. You should do the same thing I did. Start your own lane. Or you can just go around me in this lane. Yeah. I know what I'm doing this for. I know what I'm doing this for. So you can be in this lane. Just go around me. If you're trying to get there in a hurry. Hey, my process, I'm getting to where I need to. I'm gonna do it slowly. You know? But I think that you have to like know that for yourself. Right? But also in knowing it for yourself, it's good to share with other people. Those, you know, and so that's where, getting back to the conversations that we had, like where we learned from our fathers growing up, you know, like the importance of communication. Yeah, and just being able to share. And I think it's really cool that we have that here, like for ourselves. If we want to do an event, I can just call you and say, hey man, is this available? Somebody can get directly in touch with you, not having to like go through emails and do all this other thing. You know, just the event we did this past weekend, you know, it was just from, hey, you got his number? Okay, give me his number. I'll call him. Just like that, making things easy, you know, just clearing the obstacle so that people can actually do what it is that they know how to do, and then we all progress and move forward. Oh, by the way, Philly, Hodge, Fitz, so fucking proud of you guys, because that show was awesome. For everybody that missed it, you just missed it.
Yep, I was one of those people that missed it.
You just missed it. You would have had to be here. The video does it no justice. You would have had to be here.
Just rub it in, why don't you?
I'm going to, and the reason why is because it was an amazing show. It was an amazing show. And I really believe in people, especially my people. And I say that often. It says, you know what, we're gonna build brands that help people enhance the quality of life for our friends, for our family, for the people that are around us, to actually show love, right? Because that's what you should do. Because it's in the power of your hand to do so. It's good. So I'm gonna share that good with other people. I'm not gonna keep it to myself. We got the platform here at Square One. It's like, yo, you haven't performed in how long? What, you just sitting on this music? We ain't gonna put nothing out? What? Yo, look, all you need to do, just get here. Do what it is you know how to do. It was that, and man, and you missed it. Herb, you missed it. It was a great show. It was a great show. It was the first of many. It's not the last. Not the last at all. We about to wrap this up. Please let everybody know where they can find you on social media, how they can get in touch with you.
Find me on Facebook, BBQ House of Herbs. It is Herbs, not Herb, like my first name. Find me on Instagram the same way. I do post up my locations. My season is coming upon us, so please like my food page. I'll post up where I'm going to be at, so you guys can get some of the deliciousness. All right.
Herb, thanks for coming through, having a talk. This has been Cross Colors. We're going to be getting back to it. I know that we haven't been around for maybe the last 2 weeks. We've been busy. We're trying to make some things happen. We got merch, new merch dropping. Square One Culture Gallery, Facebook. Square One Culture on Instagram. I forget Square One. I believe it's just Square One on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Subscribe and follow. We'll be posting content from shows like this past one that you all missed. That'll be going up on there, so subscribe please by all means. We got a group show coming up April 13th. You should know. Got over 30 artists. We're going to be putting up a post about that tomorrow, so that you all absolutely can come through and catch that. It's going to be a phenomenal show. We got over 30 artists from in and around this area. Our first group show was 4 people. Now we got over 30. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. Okay? Cool. Supreme, thanks again from behind the lens. Appreciate you so much. Supreme One. Everybody, it's been Cross Colors. Later.